Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know you had a very long day and you are really tired, but with the panel discussion that we are going to have right now is going to be a very insightful one. So I request everyone to please be seated at the hall, and whoever are at the back, please join us at the front. It will be easier. And I would like to request volunteers as well to inform people outside to join us inside if they want to have an interesting part of this interesting panel discussion. Before, I think, starting the moderation, it's really important to understand the insights of what we are going to do today. The conversation that needs lots of attention on, and especially the impact HEFO is doing all over Nepal. And what are the impacts they have been doing? What are the scaling opportunities that they have been working on? It is really important to understand and to make a brief presentation on HEFO program's impact. I'd like to request Robin Nirola, sir, to have this presentation. And after the presentation, you'll get a brief understanding on what HEFO has been able to make an impact. And then we will continue this session with our panel discussion, where I will love to introduce our amazing panelists with amazing expertise they have in their field, and with very inciting and engaging questions as well. So I'd like to request Robin G for the presentation, for the briefing.
Okay, thank you. So here I'm coming with a brief summary of 14 years of program in Nepal by IFPRI Nepal, and this is how we want to demonstrate the impact at scale that we learned through, and that we think is a substance that can be shared, as we heard this morning in the plenary. So my name is Robin Nirola, and I'm doing knowledge management for IFPRI International in Asia program. And here, so we will have the report ready for everyone. And the key highlights that I want to bring here is, during the 14 years of program in Nepal, we started by building social capital in community, and it lays the foundation for social changes, starting from community empowerment, but not stopping there. But it comes out with social outcomes, nutrition outcomes, other development outcomes that we want to share with you all in this report. And this report is available in the QR code if you want to scan it. And what I want to highlight here is, there are numbers, a lot of numbers, but what I want to mention is, we worked with smallholder farmers and mostly women, and now we are connected with 400,000 women farmers in Nepal through 380 agriculture cooperatives, not the general cooperative, but agriculture cooperatives providing services that matters for women in Nepal. And that's how we have learned that when women are empowered, communities are empowered. When women can deliver it, community benefits with a lot of outcomes. And we have established some proven model during these 14 years. And those proven models are actually in the report as, like, we have 6 proven models. The program itself works on a lot of areas, but in this one report, we are highlighting 6 proven models, which are cooperative as a business hub, where women farmers can reach for any kind of services which they need. So if there is a service that is not available this year, it will be available next year when women feels like this is needed for us in the local context, in the local as a local service. And the second is localizing extension services, because women cannot reach as far as other people in the community, and we have to bring services, extension services, to the community so that they can benefit. And this is the second model. We call it community aggregate entrepreneurs. And third model is government partnership. We heard this morning from our Senior Vice President, Nina, and she shared about the government partnership where we are partnering with 90 local government, municipalities and rural municipalities, and actively now we are partnering with 50. The other have phased out. But this is where we bring scale, where all the populations are covered because it's local government and the coverage is the whole population. We partner with the local government to bring our technical assistance where the government needs. And fourth is access to finance. We know investment is crucial, and access to finance is even more crucial for women with a lot of constraints in the context that we are in South Asia. So this is where we bring access to finance, particularly for the women. And it's a proven model where we have partnered with banks, which has demonstrated some unique model that is appropriate for the women, like collateral free, and all those examples are there. And the numbers says we have like mobilized a 4.5 million US dollar as a wholesale loan to women farmers. And there are big numbers, but it actually is something which is substance we have created. And the fifth is inclusive market, where women leads the market. They don't follow the market, they lead the market. They are the actors in the market. They make decisions in the market. They fix the price for themselves. So this is where inclusive market comes in for the women. And sixth is policy enabling environment for women and smallholder farmers, where women take part in policy dialogues with the local government. They bring their demand, their needs, and the policies are formulated as per their need. So these six models actually are important when we think about community development in a holistic approach, but I would like to connect here. Once the foundation is laid, then we can realize that there are things that we can achieve in the lab, but not in the community. To achieve these impacts, nutrition outcomes, other social outcomes in community, we need that foundation of social capital. So that all comes in this report. That's a brief summary, and I would like to encourage you all to go through the report, download it, or we can have a hard copy for you. So that's a very brief summary, I hope. Thank you, Priya. And I hand over it to the moderator, Priya. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin G, for the briefing. You know, me as a social entrepreneur, what really excites me is the numbers he shared is just not the regular numbers, but it is the impact that the community has been making and how HAFO has been working for years to make those impact. The numbers which we share right now is really, really overwhelming as well, because the impacts are very, very still unsung and unheard about. So to talk about this report unveil, and also to unveil this report, before that I'd like to call our panelists one by one on the stage, and I'd like to start with our first panelist to come on the stage and join us, who is the Joint Secretary of Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, MOLD, Dr. Samjana Kafleju, who has been, of course, policies is very important to intervene because it's a crucial role in shaping national policies, strengthening livestock systems, and guiding decisions that directly influence food security, livelihoods, and rural development. So that's the impact that she's making, and maybe we can have lots of questions and concerns on Nepal's policy when it comes to agriculture sectors. Now, moving on to our next panel is Dr. Dilip Bhandari, Senior Director of Program Asia, HAFO International. He has the experience of more than 25 years across 20 plus countries. Dr. Bhandari, please join us on stage, who has been bringing lots of expertise in livestock, community development, and sustainable agriculture transformation. Well, sustainability is always the favorite topic as well. Thank you, Dr. Dilip, for making an amazing impact as well. So now moving on with our third panel is Niranjan Shrestha. He is CEO of Sujal Foods. Like, Sujal Food is a very known name in Nepalese market and Nepalese brand as well. This food is Nepal's largest confectionery manufacturer and a flagship of Lakshmi Group as well. It's an honor to have you here as a panel. Thank you so much. And last, but with a very powerful panel we have, who will be joining us, is Dr. Laurie C. Muller, who's a adjunct professor of pediatrics, nutrition, and child development from Tufts University. Well, her experience with heifer has been definitely for more than 2 decades and leading research that tracks child health, growth, and the long-term impact of community-level interventions. The bio, just the one I just gave, is not enough to describe all the expertise that they have and the impact they have been making in their field. But before sitting, I'd like to request again all our panels to please stand up and unveil this SLVC report, the impact that heifer is making, so we can take a good photo as well. Which one was the briefing that Robin Nirola just did? So can we come forward? I think photo really matters to me as well, so let's come forward and no background is disturbing us as well. Hope, Pravinji, you got your photos. Can we move forward with the moderation? We can? Okay. So, you know, this conversation today that we're going to have, it really brings us back to our roots, to the people, to the land, and to the system, actually, that shapes how our food comes to our tables. So it's really important to have this understanding, and the conversation that today we are going to have is going to be very detailed. Time is very limited, but I'll try my best. We will try our best that panel can answer all the questions timely, and I will not give you the time duration because there is a very big time duration as well. There is no such criteria to be followed, but we would love to get all the answers from all the panelists. We'll be starting with the very first question. And the dialogue today is going to be on governance, gender, and food well-being. Now, this is a very important subject. Why? Because it ensures the farmers who has been holding the system together and who has yet to be recognized, included, and supported. That's why also how they are making an impact in the field, how they are making an impact overall it needs to be heard, and it needs to be understand. We need to understand that as well. So I will ask the very first question to Dilip ji. So how can community engagement empower? So it's completely fine. So we start the program panel discussion with something. So it's a bang. So how can community empowerment lead to strengthened food systems and nutrition outcomes? This is the very first question. The focus is community.
Thank you. Good evening. I hope you all have energy to listen to us. We're going to share very interesting, exciting experience from each of us, bringing diverse experience here. So on the community empowerment front, though I'm not yet 84 years old, but I would like to share the experience of Heifer International has over the last 80 plus years on the community empowerment. Heifer started as a charity organization after Second World War, and then around 70s we transitioned to community development and then holistic development, and now the food system is one of the key component of our program. So when we transition from charity to community empowerment or development, we realize that the individual, the transformation of each individual in the community is crucial. It's very critical. Unless and until we address that from hopelessness to hopefulness, we'll not be able to achieve the sustainability in anything that we do. So with that, some of the tools that Heifer has developed over the years, we have used that tool, which is Heifer's cornerstone, that has helped communities, especially the women farmer, to change themselves. And when they are the change maker, they are helping families to transform. And in a community, when a group of women farmers are transformed, they bring that excitement to a group. And then we encourage them to form a cooperatives, and from where this production, especially the food, agriculture, livestock, starts, not only to contribute to their own family nutrition, but also the consumers who are the urban or peri-urban population. So because of Heifer's work, starting with personal transformation, and then empowering them to produce better quality food, we have been able to demonstrate the real impact, especially on the food system. And to give few examples here, there are 1.5 million households currently in Asian countries where we have a presence, Nepal, India, Bangladesh, and Cambodia. These farmers are organized into more than 800 cooperatives. The name can be different, like in Cambodia, they are agriculture cooperatives. In India, we have farmer producer companies. In Nepal, they are like agriculture cooperatives. And Bangladesh, they are simply cooperatives. So the platform that we have created through this process has helped them to produce better. The cooperative working as a hub where these small farmers are getting input, services, technical expertise, and also the market connection. Some of the examples that Robin was citing earlier on fair price, quality produce, ethical production, so that the consumer who are going to consume that food is of the quality that they want. So in a nutshell, even if we don't do this community empowerment, the personal transformation well, then the other part, the value chain, food system, nutrition, and linking that to the market doesn't work well. So that has been our experience that actually evolved from Nepal in early 90s, and then we are now replicating in 19 countries across the globe, especially this community empowerment part. So Nepal has been our kind of research ground to work with communities to figure out the better way to do a sustainable development. So I stop here for now.
Indeed, it has been quite a long journey as well, and the impact that has been very, very huge as well. I would like now come to Dr. Kathy. Whenever we talk about agriculture system also, rural-urban divide is a huge conversation that goes on equally. And that's why my question will be, what will be the key policies from MOLD that can strengthen the agri-food system in a way that where we can improve nutrition and narrow gap that is between rural and urban divide? So what are the policies that is going on, and what you would like to also comment on the rural-urban divide when we talk about agri-food systems?
Thank you very much for questions you raised. So good evening, everyone. Welcome to the program. So we already heard about the background, how Heifer is working in the country. So from government system, our policy is still with increased production and productivity through changes or with this substitution of low production animal. If we are talking about all animals, and even with crops, superior germplasm exchange, like that kind of breeding system we have been changing with artificial insemination. We have been producing semen in our country by ourselves for artificial insemination, and every year with superior producing animals, we have even buffalo, cattle, and even other like goat, sheep, and all kind of animals. So for that, it goes through like, decreasing number of animals and increasing the productivity. This is one of the agenda through superior adoption of superior genomic animals in the country. So it has been changing. So production is increasing every year. And at the same time, feed is important. So we are producing, like, making campaign, and with that all kind of things, and other providing the services for animal health, and what Heifer, Dr. Dilip has already explained that
I would like to
marketing
ask,
network.
I would like to add
So-
here also the nutrition value also,
Yes,
on the
nutrition.
improving the
So
nutrition
I'm
value
just
as well.
talking about changing that, and there are like, our farming system is traditional kind of system, so we want to transfer that into commercialize with mechanization and kind of things. So every marginal farmer may not be able to come up with the commercialization with all mechanization, though the changes or kind of support from government, some subsidy in production inputs and that kind of policy do government has, and like policies, insurance policies that helps the minimize the risk of losses, and at the same time, like networking, market network providing that kind of facility we have been doing. And government has policy to substitute the import from other country. So now if we see the import of goat, especially if we talk about the heifer and commodity, this is goat. So 5-6 years ago, we used to have data of about 500,000, 600,000 import of goat from India every year. Now it is minimized to almost zero, so no import from goat is there. And that directly supports the community-based smallholder, marginal farmer for their well-being and getting nutritional value also, like free range chicken is also available, like for poultry also government has focused with giving this free of or with nominal price chicks to all remote area also. That kind of program is still going on, and giving vaccination free of cost for major diseases, which is problematic for our industry. That kind of facilities, that kind of policies has taken, and at the same time we are bringing the more produced hybrid or superior kind of, but with geographical our condition in high mountain where that cannot be reared or farmed. So in those area also indigenous animal like yak chauri in high hills and changra in high hills, that kind of promotion is also going on from government side. And when a person is keeping animals, they definitely consume their production by themselves, and at the same time when production is surplus, they sell in the market and get some economic benefit also from that kind of situation.
So government is trying, government is working on the policies, government is making lots of changes as well.
Yes.
And how happy you are with how government policies are changing and how adaptive it has been? How happy you would say in this 11 years of journey you have been? I'm just
so it is altogether, I'm a veterinarian, I'm working in the government system for 30 years. So I do have seen changes what we had earlier, like we used to have animals with 3 liter, 4 liter per day producing, milk producing animals. Now we can see with, I think, coordination or collaboration with heifer, we have brought Holstein Friesian animals from Korea. So we have measured that more than, I think almost 43 liter per day that producing animals are in our community. So that is the changes. So that is the example that can be shown to other and can be adapted in other part of the country. So this is the policy, like government is trying to work, because government is not the only working. Yes, it's if we talk about governing system, we do have 3 tier of government. So we are in central part with policies and all, but we have to see the local level, person who are working and the farmer there. So for them, so that kind of changes are yes happening.
And we even look forward for the changes because agriculture is something that we really, really highly depend on also. So thank you so much, Doctor. I would again like to come back to you a little later after I will ask this question to Niranjanji. Dr. Samjana also just mentioned about imports, about how we don't want to be really much dependent on imports as well. Sujal Foods has been one of the very impactful companies or impactful brand in the nation itself. So my question for you is, what strategic shifts should we focus on the innovations part that can actually strengthen, local production, that we can reduce import dependence and build a more resilient and resilient agri-food market for both from the product aspect and also from the consumer aspect? How can we strengthen those aspects?
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. Actually, if you see, I'm only the private sector over here, so I'll share the private sector journey in last agri-industry of 21 years of experience. So we started a dairy business year 2006. And that time, dairy was very, very difficult business, very difficult business. Per animal, average was less than a liter per day was there. And then when we started a business, we couldn't get a good milk, and that was the whole story. Fast forward, that time, AI used to be only 13,000 something. Now, 20 years down the line, we have 1.2 million AIs in Nepal. So if you see, 2006, Nepal is to import around 17 billion Nepali rupee of dairy products is to be imported that time. Per capita consumption was less than 50 liter. And now, fast forward, we import only now 2 billion Nepali rupee of dairy products. And then we have around 87 liters of per capita consumption. So in 21 years, mountain has moved. The quality has moved, but still a lot to do. So I see in 21 years, there are a lot of changes in the industry. But it's not enough. It's not enough. Still, a lot of dialogues are going in between government, and we are trying to push more mountains with the government in terms of policy. So, what I see is to change this, we need a strategic shift in Nepal agri-food system. So, what are the changes required? Let's see from in last 20 years what everyone, government, dairy development agency, and all were doing, helping smallholder farmers and smallholder industries. Now from there, we need to go to now anchor industry. Because now it's a matter of a size. From substantiate, one animal, now farmer has a 2, 3, 4 animal. Probably from 4, now we have to go to 10 in a farm level, if you talk about a dairy animal. Then if you see the industry, there has to be an anchor industry, and anchor industries should be coming with other SMEs together with them so that they go together. One anchor industry, if can be developed so well, that industry can be replicated to other part. So those are the things which is really required. We need to really think from that perspective. Nepal needs to really think from that perspective. And another major part is in terms of when you buy anything in a farm level, transparency is one of the major things. And how do we bring that transparency? It's all about policy, governance. Those kind of thing has to be. Transparency not only in the farm, transparency in a food system to your customer or consumer as well. Because food means you are not only in a food business, you are in a nutrition business. Let's not forget everyone. From a farmer to processor to everyone has to think that we are in a nutrition business. That's a core of any business who is in a food part. Another part is what we feel is the contract farming is another big part. From 2008 onwards, we are trying to push with the government. We need a contract farming, but it's not still under the table in a parliament or somewhere, I don't know. So actually this will help for farmers for predictable markets. It reduces risks and it strengthens the backward linkages. These things are important, very important to have this sector. So, and apart from that, is major thing is in our food system, formalization. Because all food system, majority in South Asia, food systems are informal. Economy is more stronger in those parts. So how do you bring formalization? So that everyone is responsible and everyone act as a real actor, so that farmer also get the right price and consumer also gets the right thing to their table. So these are the major things what I see in terms of other part. And in Nepal, what you see is, especially in value chain, cold chains are more important. We waste a lot of things. When we started a dairy business, around 71% of dairy used to be wasted. It has come down to now 50, below 50, but still long to go, long way to go. So these are the major things what I see. And another part in this sector, I mean, we've been working with heifer from long, and another part is in terms of gender inclusiveness. Female, we have worked with female, and then in terms of female working with female in a farm level, we have it has done a tremendous work. I mean, female cooperatives are one of the best in our countries also. They have moved the things. So these are the major things. And then in terms of how we can reduce the import and replace it, and then it can be made exportable is another is we have to work on a breed and other thing part. So if you can really work on those part, definitely you can do it. I remain here.
I would
Thank you.
love to add here, how can we make that bridge? How can we really work on reducing the import part, and what are the things that really, it's only, the policies are there, private sectors, entities of works are also there. So, but one thing from your experience, from long-lived experiences that you have from social food and the impact it is making, what is one thing that really can be done that can really increase export rather than depending on imports? What would be your experience?
So for me is, one is if any product is coming here, it's all about two things. One is availability in local market. Second is quality. Third is a cost. So how do we match on a cost? How do we improve our quality so that the people, the consumer who are testing their products or having their other products is equivalent and they are getting at reasonable price. So these are the major things. And for that is investment is required. So for investment, that's the whole idea is bringing an anchor industry. So if anchor industry comes, then that will invest and everyone will support that industry so that that industry becomes successful, and that will help the MSSME cooperatives, whoever is packing industry, they will bring a lot of innovations on those parts, and that can really change the game. That's what I personally feel is that.
That's a great, actually you mentioned that clearly, because when we are trying to work and make an impact, we forget this three aspects you just highlighted about the price, about the quality. Everything is something that we tend to miss out, and that's why it's really hard to be consistent with what we are trying to make an impact as well. So when we talk about community, when we talk about impact, research equally plays a very crucial role as well. So my question comes to Laurie. How does research especially can help the development organization create programs that can really improve nutrition and food well-being at the same time?
Well, thank you, Priya, for that question, and namaste to everyone. I'm so happy to be back in Nepal, my home away from home, and it's wonderful to see colleagues, friends, and new friends I haven't met yet. So I'm really glad to be here and have a chance to talk to you. You've heard from government, you've heard from the NGO, you've heard from the private sector, and I'm going to try to give you a little bit of a spin on the academic view of all of these projects and how they're carried out and what academia can bring to this. I was lucky enough to be approached by heifer 25 years ago. I didn't think it was going to be a long-term relationship, but we're still together after all that time. And I think the key to this long relationship has been that there was an agreement at the start for open discussion, honest exchanges, and from the heifer side, I have to say, complete academic freedom. So in all these 25 years, I've never once been told, make this look good, find this result, and back it up in some way. It's been really freedom as a researcher, and I have to say also as a researcher working with an NGO like heifer, who is so active and reactive, has been a great pleasure because as results come in, heifer really takes them in and then will disseminate them in a way that's appropriate for that particular result. I think I can explain this a little bit by telling you a bit about our first research question, which we devised 25 years ago, and we're still working on it. What does that say? But I think heifer wanted to take a good, hard look in the mirror at that time and see how are we as an organization, I'm talking as heifer now, how are we doing? And are we really accomplishing what we want to accomplish? And I got involved with these conversations kind of at the beginning, and we discussed this in many ways, and it was really not obvious, it's not clear that there's a direct relationship between improving economic status of families and child nutrition also improving at the same time. Back then, in 2000, there was a lot in the literature about cultural barriers, medical problems, educational issues, social problems, traditions, and so on, that prevented that relationship improve the economic activity of the household, which is something that heifer, I must say, has always done very, very well. But does that translate to better nutrition? And as our conversations progressed, we thought of some other things where participating in heifer activities might also have some adverse effects on children. So we thought about things like, well, maybe the moms are going to be so busy in their self-help groups and so interested in these new activities that heifer is providing, they won't be giving as much attention to the babies and the young children who really need input from a parent. And we thought, well, maybe the moms are going to be so busy, they're going to ask the children to do more work in the household and with the animals and so on. And it might even come to the point where children are asked or demanded to skip school because they need to do things around the house because mom is busy. So those were some concerns we had. And we also thought if the children are working more with animals and or the more animals are coming into the house because of the heifer program, could there be an increase in zoonotic diseases? So it wasn't like a straightforward question. We were thinking heifer could have some negative aspects on the impact of children and child well-being and child nutrition. So heifer was open to trying to address that question, and that's what we did at the beginning. We did look and see what was the status of children in the heifer areas. And I have to say the first studies we did were kind of depressing because the nutritional status of the children in those project areas was not any better than what the national statistics said. And we realized we needed to understand this in a more systematic way, so we did projects which included a control group and then a group that received the normal heifer program. And okay, over time, the nutritional status of the heifer group did improve more than this control group improved. But I have to say, it was statistically significant, but I'm a pediatrician, and in my pediatric heart, I looked at these differences and I said, I don't think those really make much difference to any child if their Z-score goes up 0.4. It's really not significant to the child's health and well-being. So we became concerned and thought about we have to do a better job. So we decided to revise the nutrition and really gear up nutrition and make it central in the heifer program. Of course, it had to fit into the framework of the way heifer was functioning, but heifer had never had a real focus on nutrition, despite the fact that the mission statement, even back then, said that the mission of heifer was to reduce poverty and hunger. But they weren't really looking at the hunger. I think there was a thought that, okay, we reduce poverty and then automatically we reduce hunger. But as I mentioned, that doesn't work that way. So we did those kinds of studies, and we've over time done many iterations of our nutrition interventions, and we've learned from that. we've learned things like, well, local context really matters, and what works in this province doesn't work over here. What works in this village doesn't work in this village. What works in this caste in this village doesn't work with this caste. And Heifer really took that information in two ways. One, they realized that it was important to look at nutritional issues in other Heifer countries, and so they took the nutrition curriculum and said, we need to adapt these in each country for local context, and then we have to really adapt it to the more micro context as well. And they got academic advisors in from many universities to help in many of these other countries, but I wanted to stay here in Nepal, so I said I wasn't going to do that. So that was one thing that Heifer took, and nutrition really has become very much central to Heifer's mission now, and it is a part of all of the Heifer projects, whether we're doing a research project there or not. All of the Heifer programs incorporate some of this nutrition training that we've developed over the years. A couple of other things that we found, and this, you could say, kind of made Heifer look bad, but again, they were open to publishing this and really looking at this in more detail. One study we did, for whatever reason, I can't even remember, we disaggregated the data and looked at the educational level of the women in the self-help groups and their the outcome, nutritional outcome of their children, and also the economic outcome of those families. And while everybody with a certain level of education, things got better, got better, got better, this group of women, which was substantial in some areas, things got worse. And maybe the Heifer activity took them away from other things that they needed to do, but their economic indices did not improve the way we hoped. Maybe they didn't take up the Heifer messages the way that they should. And their children also went down for nutrition. Well, Heifer was very open to that, and the response to that I got from Heifer was, we need to revise our training materials and review everything to make sure we're reaching everyone and that the access is appropriate for all the women, all the participants in our groups. So that was another way that research helped Heifer. And then a third way that really was interesting was, this was just an odd chain of circumstances, but we had done a 2-year randomized controlled project looking at nutrition intervention type A and type B in, I think it was 3 districts of Nepal at that time. And again, it was a finding of not dramatic differences, statistically significant, yes, but meaningful, maybe not as much as I wanted. Somehow we got funding to go back to those same sites and look again 2 years after N-line. So it was 4 years from baseline. And guess what? That group that got what we call the good Heifer intervention was doing so much better. And that taught us that these responses take time, and you can't be impatient. Donors want quick results. Researchers want quick results. Participants want quick results. NGOs want quick results. You can't have that all the time. It's important to realize that time is very important in the way things develop, and it might be that feeding habits need to be consistently changed over time. Diet needs to have improved over time, and growth takes time to respond to dietary changes, even in young children who are growing pretty rapidly. So that was a message that we thought was important to get out there as well. So overall, those are some of the ways that Heifer has used the research, and again, it's been gratifying that things get taken up and used in such a quick manner. I want to make one other comment, Priya, which is that somebody this morning asked about students, and I don't think that question was ever answered. And we've been trying to incorporate students as interns in many of our projects, and we really welcome their input, and they've been very valuable asset to many of our projects over the years. And we learn from them because they bring their enthusiasm and their questions, and they learn from us because they get practical experience with this kind of work.
Exactly how passionately you share about how research really brings such a beautiful holistic approach, how we can be working and how the impact has been so far. And you really share that very passionately. You wanted to add something on
Yeah.
her statement, yes?
Can I make a short
Yes.
comment here? So I'm just listening to three panelists, I am just trying to reflect the way Heifer has evolved again. In the past, Heifer wanted to do everything, and our scale was like 100 family or 200 family project scattered over 50 plus countries globally. When I joined Heifer, it was like that. Now we are kind of consolidating into few countries, like 19 countries, but the number of households, we don't want to say beneficiaries because they are our partners. The smallholder farmers are our partner, our participant. The number of participants has exponentially increased. The reason, because we are just trying to facilitate that process, and government is part of that, private sector is part of that, and academia and research institutions are helping us to try something new, prototype, innovate, and then help that scale up. The reason why Heifer has developed from a small NGO to the NGO that facilitates the process of bringing millions of households at one point of time.
So, Dilip ji, I'll just like to request you to add more on this. What programming innovation that successfully you have like Hereford have said successfully that has been able to give an example here as well. You can give an example also who has been able to scale up as well. You have certain examples as well.
Yeah.
Yes. Can you share?
I have
some?
a lot. So
Can you share some?
I can keep on going for that for hours, but I'll just bring a few examples here. And I think I'm going to focus more on South Asian examples, but we have examples of coffee farmers in Latin America, like Guatemala, Honduras, Ecuador, and Mexico. And there are dairy farmers in East Africa, like Kenya, or cacao farmer in West Africa. So Heifer has a lot of examples of those innovations across the globe. But especially focusing here in South Asia, I want to share two things. One, when we wanted to scale up our program, one of the constraints that we have was resources, limited resources that we have. So we were trying to figure out the way to leverage resources locally, from within the community, and with other stakeholders, other development players, government, private sectors. So we have been successful to some extent, but we need to keep on building that, because I was reflecting earlier on the foundation, the network, the infrastructure that we have created is part of our empowerment. We have 1.5 million families or households in Asia. We have more than 800 cooperatives. We have more than 30,000 self-help groups in Asia. They are ready to take resources from microfinance, banks, private sector to expand their business, especially on the agri-enterprises. So we have started doing some pilot, and we are leveraging resources from various banks, and there are examples from Nepal. You can go through the report for a specific number. We have been successful in bringing resources from other institutions, and more importantly, the resources that community itself can bring has been quite interesting. The savings that each of the women farmer do every month, that number is huge. It starts with a cent per month, per family or per household, and that keeps on increasing. I think for now, we probably in Asia we have more than $30 million or so that these households can mobilize themselves to expand their agriculture production, be it kitchen garden, be it safe vegetable, be it chicken, be it pig or swine or dairy cattle, or depending on the context that each community is working. So one learning that we have is bringing private sector, especially finance and resources, is very important, that we need to keep on working more so that we can bring more resources. That's number one. Number two, the thing that any development organization is doing for the community is to support the goal of the government, be it local, be it provincial or state, or the national government. Whatever we do as a development player, we are helping them. So bringing them as part of mainstream development is very crucial, very important. So organizations like IFPRI and other, we have expertise, we have tools, we have some capacities to do that, where resources and infrastructure is lacking from the government. So we are joining hand in hand to design or develop the policy, the strategy at local level, especially on the agriculture development. And this morning, Nina Joshi also cited that in Nepal, IFPRI is partnering with more than 70 local government or municipal government to implement the agriculture development program. And the government itself is putting all the resources it is needed. We, IFPRI, is putting our operational cost to do that. So collaborating with government is crucial, very important, and we all as a development player need to continuously focus on that. And for that, this convergence of the government, the private sector, all the technical partner, like Sujal here is example in Nepal, we are partnering with them in our dairy project. So we have that kind of example globally. So that is one of the crucial things that we need to keep on building so that we can implement our project at scale.
Yes, very rightfully said as well. Whenever it comes to any conversation, the most repeated part is government work, how government makes an intervention. And Dr. Samjana, you have been getting that a lot as well. How everyone has already mentioned that how government role becomes very crucial. And at the same time, you also mentioned in your answer before how it's not only the government, it's other institutional measures also that comes together, and it's very important for everyone to work together to reach for an impact. So my question might be a little broad, but I would like to ask this: what is the very vital things that government and institutional measures can be taken to strengthen agri-food system policies or work in Nepal? Also focusing on the biggest issues that we have right now is gender equality and also climate problems as well. How we can bring all this together and work on it. Especially what can be the things that can be worked on.
Okay, thank you. Yes. So very interesting conversation we are having here. So private sector is there, research and the project and government, we are together. So how we can say that from government perspective, policy is good nutritional food for everyone. But for that, we need to work together, all sector. And for government institution also, 3 divided government system. So I heard from Dr. Dilip that IFPRI is working with municipal level, local level government for programming and all. So that is true. So we are just exercising the newly, though it is already 6-7 years that federal system of government, 3-tier of government, what we used to work with unitary system, now it is changing. So service providing agency also fragmented. Now we are pulling them back to the same system that this is one entity. When we talk about the animal production and animal health, livestock, so all together service providing and everything should be in one same pace of work. So for that, the now local level, our technical person, they are there, but limited number, and with skill of programming and budgeting and everything, like, convincing the leader that we need this kind of, this is the policy we have to prepare. So that kind of still is there. So like HEFR is helping in local level, means this is example that can be multiplied with other local agencies and adapt that program to all the local level government. And for that, like nutrition and women empowerment, we do have some budgetary system that that address the women empowerment, some program especially for low marginal group, income generating person like single women, some inclusive, some kind of, that kind of government program with conditional grant. This Nepal government is providing to provincial level as well as to the local level. Though it is not sufficient, we have discussed that whatever we are doing, effort is not sufficient, I
It's
can
never
say.
enough, yes.
But if we talk about the livestock production and all, so the indicator what we can mention that import is reducing. There is very limited import from other country we are bringing to livestock product to our country for our consumption. That means we are almost in the position of self-sufficient from animal products. So that means, and there is some issues. Niranjan ji did not mention that there is issue of market for milk products. So this, I think more than 1 year we are going through and not able to export our product to other country due to some of the diseases and that kind of. So we are trying to address that also with a small area, with zoning the place that free of diseases and trying to find the market. We have some MOU with China government also, trying to sell our product to other country also. So if we talk about only the livestock production system and the self-sufficiency, we are like not in trade negativity. We are surplus now, we can say. We have been exporting like dry cheese and some of the animal products to other country. So, but due to some of the diseases, and that is also we are trying to, because it is not only that policymaker can do it, but all effort for from all three tier of government has to put effort on this, that then we can succeed.
Exactly, as you
So
mentioned.
that kind of, and other things I just want to let you know that for quality production, for a regulatory system, we have already few legal framework that we can work on it, and we are trying to improve that and get amended and trying to make that can be with that all legal framework and regulating all the production and our system with international standards, so that we can export our products to other countries. So that is the, if policy
Exactly.
we are trying to,
It's the collaboration as well, as you mentioned rightfully. It's the collaboration with all the
Yes.
institutional in all the tier that really brings the impact more stronger as well.
Yes.
But the thing is also that the context we are at is every answers we always look up to government as well.
So
that is a pressure,
what-
and but also that is a pressure. That is a challenge. But that is also because we have high expectations as well
So
from the government.
is trying to give like a subsidy in interest for loan also, agriculture loan, that kind of scheme government has brought. But it's, it's a big area, huge area, and the priority from finance ministry, how much we get and what kind of, so every, I think in the developing country like ours, we know that the priority that, our agriculture ministry's budget is less than 3% of total budget. And the GDP contribution is 24 point, almost 25% in the GDP. So we can compare with that how we have been working and the resources availability and how to work with that. So even whatever we are trying, we are putting more effort on making everything better happen.
Exactly,
whatever
and
we
with
can.
that also, we want to be with you. We want all the acting agencies or institutions that has been making an impact to make government efforts also come to life, so that there is the impact that we talk about nation building doesn't only comes from the government, but also from all the ties as well. And that is what we really look up to, and we hope that more policies and more changes can come with time as well. And the contribution and the numbers you shared also looks really, really insightful and meaningful as well. So we are almost end of the session, but last I would like to again ask Niranjanji. Niranjanji, Sujal Dairy also has a really good impact again in the market. So how, again, this is a very broad question where I would love to ask you, how do you envision the company's role in shaping a more inclusive and resilient dairy sector in Nepal? And following up with that will be one that ensures quality, builds consumers' trust, and uplifts smallholder farmers in the face of evolving market dynamics at the same time. So how you answer this?
Yeah, that's a difficult answers, but I'll try to answer it. So let's see, I mean, going back 21 years back, and then we were facing a lot of problem in dairy. And then the day came that, so we had a lot of issues. And suddenly things changed. When we thought that we are not in a dairy business, we are in a nutrition business. So when he started telling to everyone, every white thing is not a milk. So milk should be a milk when it is nutritious. So when we started talking to farmers, to our end consumer, the perspective really changed. That was our one of the major things what we thought was within our team, within a people, within a consumer. And that's how we brought a trust in our consumer as well, to our farmer and our other stakeholders also. So that's what we personally feel that was one of the major changes on a perspective, thinking that how we are working on those part. So as a Sujal Dairy, I mean, we were always now innovating. And so we always used to think that it's very difficult to make quality product. And from last 3 years, we are working together with Tetra Pak, the global leader on a dairy technology. And then now we are starting our production of UST milk in Nepal, first time in Nepal. So in next 2.5 months, we'll have that with 180 days self-like milk with non-adulterated. It's one of the best quality. So previously we used to think that dairy assets, there is no quality of milk, to working 3 years continuously developing with international company. Now you have a milk which can be internationally competitive. That's a truth. So it will be very reasonable. I mean, probably the imported, we'll be selling at almost 60% price of what the imported would be. So that's also a kind of thing what we are trying. And then there's a lot of investment to that. So not only that, we are in innovation, we have done a lot of things. Like lately we developed a cream. So when we saw in the market, how we felt was the cream was the consumer, I mean, especially the female, I mean, whatever the consumer, the homemaker, that's the right word, sorry about that. Homemaker they used to take a cream and they used to cut the piece. And then we saw that the cream was in everywhere, because it can be 200 ml cannot be used in the same time. So our innovation team came with very innovative product with a tube, like a toothpaste. You can open it, and then whatever ml you require, you can put it, and you can put it back. So those were the things, simple thought process, innovation thinking, think like a customer. That's one of the major approach. What your customer, as a customer, how you are thinking, what they are looking for it. That's one of the major things. So I mean, if you see a dairy product, I'm also a consumer. Every morning I make if I want a tea. What kind of tea I want? If I have coffee, if I'm a coffee shop, if I order a cappuccino, what kind of velvety, the micro bubbles looks like very nice coffee, I want it. We have to give those kind of product. So if you are in a business, if you don't think like a customer, then you are not in a business. So these are the things what we personally have done a lot in these days. And then we have worked with a lot of people. We have created a lot of strong team, the R&D team, and then so and so on kind of thing, right? We've been doing those kind of things here in Nepal, and then it has led us, we are making a very good quality product, exporting products to different parts, ghee and other part. And then the product we make, we compete with the international products like Nestle, Unilever, and other thing. And then we say that, we proudly say that it's 20 versus 20, it's not 1980. Yeah. So things can be done, but it takes time. And then we need all stakeholders support for that. So that's what, and then for that, producing a good quality milk, IFPRI was very supportive on that. So we worked together. It took us time, but it really worked.
Again, collaboration is what is the answer of
Yes,
choice that will have in the impact.
that's one of the major.
You know, in my home also, Sujal Dairy is a very fond name as well. So Sujal Foods is a very fond name as well. So definitely, we wish you luck. And for everyone, all the panels, thank you so much for letting us have this conversation that lets us reimagine about people and possibilities and the impact that we all are working on. And with this panel discussion that has concluded, and I, before concluding this panel discussion, would also like to again request Robinji to have an online poll before, and then we'll move forward with question and answer. Yes. So can you brief about the online poll as well?
So thank you, Priyaji. It was an engaging discussion, and before the question and answer round, we have a very small poll for you. So you can go and scan the QR and do the poll. So I'm requesting everyone to try it. Okay.
So you can really scan that, and yes, okay. Internet is working. So after the online poll, then we'll take few questions as well. We'll only be taking 2 questions. When you think of strengthening an agri-food system, which word comes to your mind first? For me, it's possibilities. Niranjanji said cooperation, possibilities, collaboration, definitely.
We were having some Wi-Fi issue. Maybe it's coming. Yeah, now it's coming.
Dietary intake, value chain, resilient, yes.
So there are 4 questions, and we can like slide. Yeah.
So the second question is, what is the biggest barrier preventing women from leading agri-food system in your context market? Access to finance, patriarchy, willpower, GBV. Where do you see the biggest gap in the current food system and intervention? Policy implementation, COP, market linkage, perspective, feasibility, linkage and innovation, monopolistic market, collaborations again. And the last one is, which is the one change you believe you will make South Asia food system healthier and more resilient? Collaboration. I think collaboration is definitely the highlight and the takeaway of today's conversation as well. Rate to consumer, chain collaboration, good trade, food, respect for diversity, coordination and cooperation, education of farmers, strong, local awareness. It's very interesting analysis that has come from the participants. So definitely our participants were actively listening to us, which makes our panel more happy as well.
Okay. So we can move to question and answer round. Thank you.
Now, as we don't have much time, you can see the time bomb clicking. We'll only be taking maybe 2 questions if someone is really interested. So yes, anyone would like to ask a question. So you are asking a question? Yes, okay, there's one question. With him, anyone who would like to ask another question? Because we will just select only 2 people. Anyone? Anyone? No? We can move forward? Okay, so we'll be taking one question. Please introduce yourself and your question.
Hello. Namaste everyone. Thank you so much panelists for the wonderful discussion. Myself Bigyan Subedi, MPH from the Central Department of Public Health. So I have a question to the Joint Secretary. So we know that we have a multi-sectoral nutritional plan. We start with the discussion that the food is to value of the nutrition. So we have a multi-sectoral nutrition plan, and health sector is doing on the nutrition specific interventions, and agriculture sector and other sectors is doing on the nutrition sensitive interventions. So why there is so much gap between the 2 sectors? Because we have seen that the 2 sectors are not collaborating into the one single dimension. So myself being the health student or agricultural students, we talk much about the collaboration, coordination, as we also see, but there is a huge gap. So what are the things that is making the challenges for the collaboration, and how can we overcome it? So one question. And another question is, so we have the local food productions in the mountainous and the hilly area. So how the government is planning to commercialize those millet, buckwheats, local apples into the market of the Nepal health systems, and how can we compete the price range of those foods with the imported foods? Thank you.
Okay, so both questions is for me. So coordination between health system and agriculture system. So I now say that it is not the gap. So our perspective, our policy is quality production, and health system, how there is a forum, I think, in NPC that all collaborates, talk together. But right now we had been discussing about the animal production, marginalized, like nutritional gap or availability, that kind of situation. So right now we are focusing on quality production, and production in all level, like marginal and local level is there, and same time commercialized production like milk production, how we have been increasing, and we can see that even our formal sector of dairy is very limited. Only 17–18% is coming through the processing sector with the pasteurization and all, and other sector is still we have to regulate them. That kind of issues are still there. So if we talk, we are not comparing with how health sector is doing and how we have been doing. Our policy is quality production for all. So I think you got the point from first question. For next one, so indigenous products, promotional activities are going on. Like now the situation has changed from few years ago, and right now people are looking for millet, people are looking for other like what can I products like quinoa, kaguno, that kind of, and rice also, marshi, that kind of population are there. So for products like even our apple from our area, we are trying to bring them in the market. And millet also, we have one of the product we have highlighted with some kodo divas bhanera pani हामीले ल्याएका छौं हैन. That kind of promotional activities we have been doing. I think this is a small import what we are doing, but it has to make expanded to throughout the country, every local level, then only we can make. So we can get apple, our own apple from Jumla, Mustang in market. So it was very difficult in few years ago, but right now we can see. So these are the changes we are trying to do. So we will put more effort, and hopefully that like branding of those products, we are also, government is trying to make on that part also. So we are hopeful that in few years, everyone knows that our indigenous product in all supermarket in our
It goes global.
urban areas.
Yeah.
So that possibilities are there. Even in government meeting and all, even other sector also, that lunch and that kind of promotional activity government is trying to do.
Okay, I think Dilip
Thank
ji
you.
also wanted to add something.
Yeah,
But
just-
you have to make it very short.
Just want to add
few
a
seconds left.
comment here, not a response to the question. Just realizing the fact that the environment, human health, animal health, they are not working well globally. The UN, they have come up with the concept of One Health, and Heifer International is also strategically implementing that into our program. And One Health covers human health, environmental health, and animal health, working together for the greater good.
Working together for the greater good. That's such a beautiful takeaway as well. And
I will add some more with
Yes.
One Health approach. So if we talk about the One Health approach, we are focusing on zoonotic disease and minimizing that kind of things. But in the nutritional, what percentage of nutrition and what kind of. So these are the gaps you realize. And there is a forum also we have been discussing. But right now, I'm not able to explain you exactly what is the situation and status. So I'm from animal health side. I know One Health approach, how we have been working. Like recently we celebrated antimicrobial resistance awareness week. So throughout the country, so that kind of events we have been doing.
And also adding on, yes, everyone has some, but we have like literally 26 seconds to go. But yes,
Yeah.
Niranjan.
So I'll just, I 100% agree on what there is not a collaborative effort. The data shows, like out of our 7 provinces, only 2 are in a yellow zone in terms of stunting. That's a great mark. All are in a red zone. So there is a problem of anemia, right? So there is a problem of, what is that called, malnutrition. So if those things are there, then as an institution, we have to have a collaborative effort to work that, so that means almost, if you see in stunting, we have around 37% of our people are stunting. So that is all about cognitive capacity. What kind of the workforce we are generating, those are something to be done, debate in a next forum, which would be very interesting. And that's also, so as a social dairy being in a nutrition, that's also another interest. We always have an interest. That's why we invested on Tetra Pak. And on school milk, we thought that if our milk goes, then it will help on that part also in terms of nation building as well.
Yes, so everyone, we have already, our time is up, but yes, you can give in one sentence.
One sentence, yeah.
Yes.
I think that the importance of including a research component in NGO work is essential, because that's how we can move things forward. Rather than just thinking we're doing a good job, let's try to analyze that and design the best possible way forward in all of these different areas.
That's so beautifully kept as well. I think all the panelists were so engaging, and they really explored the idea of people and possibility. And definitely the question that came from the participant really also engaged all our panelists to answer more. So we also, if you want to have more conversation, you have more concerns, you can email them, or you can also have a conversation afterwards as well. But the time is over, so again, I'd like to thank Heifer for bringing this opportunity where we all share this platform to talk about agriculture and the impact of agri-food system in Nepal. Thank you all the panelists for your very valuable time. With this, we end this panel discussion, and I am I forgot to introduce myself in the very beginning, but I sign off with our panel discussion. Panelists, I'm Priya Sigdal. Thank you so much, everyone.
So we have